Thank you so much, Monica, for letting me know I was muted because I've been going on for a minute about nothing really. I didn't get started. Hey, Monica King. Huh. That's the thing about going live and then leaving me here by myself to try to figure these things out. But why are we here? It's Love and Marriage Detroit. We on season 2 still. They left us a while back, so we don't know like I don't remember when they left. I just remember, Brandon and Christina were over here having a conversation with these kids. So, when am I going to do Detroit? Probably on Tuesdays. I'm here on Saturday, like I said, because I'm off and I'm not normally off. But yeah. So, we left off with Brandon and Christina. They're having a conversation with their kids. Um, the baby feels sad and angry. And I feel like kids are very intuitive. When something is not right within the household, I think they definitely could tell what's going on. These kids are no different. Even though they're very young, they know something is up with these parents. Brandon says that they have unresolved issues from their childhoods that showed up in their relationship. And I'm like, that's fair. But I feel like there's other things going on within this relationship. Um, the issues of it all. Um, Brandon got married to this lady 6 months after he met her, and I'm not gonna just put that on him. They both decided to get married 6 months after meeting each other, so that's not cool. Um, I mean, I don't want to say that's not cool, but I don't feel like that's cool. You don't know anybody that well in order to be matrimonying yourself to them. She's not from Detroit. She's from Boston or something. So they were on the never ever met. These two never ever met, and then they came over here and met and got married. So he said he just wanted to smash, and I think Christina, probably much like a lot of women, live in a fairy tale of, the happily ever after of it all. And I feel like at some point in time, all of us as women fall into that because that's what we're told we're supposed to be doing, Prince Charming and things. And Brandon isn't appearing to be much of a Prince Charming because, I'm just kind of, bringing y'all back to where we were since we're having this happily family moment. But Brandon was over there flirting with women at the at the wedding. Like if you're at the wedding flirting with women, Brandon, that's a no. So what else did they have going on? Brandon was over here having inappropriate conversations and possibly relations with his artists. Christina was creating a fake image, I think. Like, I don't want to say most, but I think people definitely are different within their household than they're presenting on the outside. Not all the time, but some of the time. Some of the time, I think in any relationship, people are not showing you who they really are. I feel like for the first time, Brandon was not making excuses necessarily. This is the first conversation that we came into with Brandon and Christina that didn't really drive me nuts. Um, Christina is a preacher's kid who comes from a very religious background, and Brandon has a parent, over here who is very, I don't want to call the lady cold, but she's not very affectionate. Affectionate is the word that I'm, looking for. So when he says they had unresolved issues from their childhood, I can see how that plays into, how you show up in a marriage, in a relationship. Um, I appreciate though that Brandon and Christina had this conversation in front of their girls. Child, I have this picture. Let me see if I can find it real quick. I came in muted, so surely we could take a second for me to find this picture of, this family unit that is Brandon and Christina and these beautiful girls. So Brandon is sitting here looking at this little girl with his very same face, asking him, "Where you been? Why was you new at home?" And the oldest one, who looks exactly like Christina, is asking him, like, "Listen, like I felt like we're not spending enough time together, it made me feel sad." And I could see it like come right out of him like, dang, how do I answer this? And like I said, for the first time, he wasn't being fake. He was really honest with his girls and told them, like, I don't, you know, I didn't know like how I was going to be able to show up over here. And I wanted to come back and make sure, that I'm good. And I didn't know that I was going to be able to be mommy's husband, which is a very, I don't know, honest way to put that. Like the little kids, I think, have a, um, I don't want to say habit, but I think it makes sense for little kids to take on your energy and feel like what's wrong when you're walking around the house lying to your children and not being honest like that. Don't give them a fantasy. It's not y'all. I love you girls, but I have to figure out if I can be, a good husband to your mother. So I appreciated that conversation because, Brandon normally he works my last nerve. I feel like based on the way he showed up, maybe this break that Christina gave him was just what he needed to find out, like, what do I have at home versus what am I out here chasing in these streets? Basically nothing. Hopefully they'll do the work because Brandon is over here talking about we got that nitty gritty no matter what kind of love. And I'm like, okay, well, I want y'all to keep working on it. Christina says she's praying for order. And Brandon said he's ready to lead the family. And I'm like, this is just my opinion. Everybody is entitled to one. I'm entitled to mine. I feel like partnerships don't need no leader. You need to figure out what each person is best at leading. You know what I'm saying? And figure that part out to create some order. But don't just hand the reins over to Brandon. You know what I'm saying? Because you said yourself, Christina, that Brandon ain't never been in charge or in control or leading the family in whatever way that he thinks that looks like. Probably the way his dad did. So yeah, hopefully they get the work that they need because everybody needs work. Everybody needs work. Every couple needs assistance. Everybody needs work. So hopefully they get theirs because this the nitty gritty, never ever let it go kind of love. And so you want to make sure that's a healthy situation for everybody involved. In the meantime, we're going hands in. It's Team Smith over here with Christina and Brandon. Oh, the Thompsons. So now the more I get to see LaToya, the more I see that he is just like Anthony. She's just like Anthony. They're in their home and she calls the boys down. She's with her daughter. She calls the boys down to come have pizza. And Anthony's response is, what? And I'm like, Anthony, your kids are going to grow up and treat women the same way you treat their mother. Like, that was disrespectful. And they might even treat her that way because it seems like they're already like in conversation with her. They looking at him and rolling eyes. It's almost like Anthony be talking smack about his wife behind her back to these children. That seems like an Anthony thing to do. Christine is sitting over here trying to have a weird conversation. First of all, her kids are like preteen age, so it starts to get a little weird. I mean, I feel like having conversation with kids that age is somewhat like pulling teeth. They just, how was your day? Good. They don't really be giving up a whole lot of information in terms of what they did during the course of their day. And the way she's asking questions, it makes it seem like she doesn't even know these children. She's like, so how have you been doing in the 7th grade? And I'm like, how's he been doing in the 7th grade? You haven't been there? Like, I get it. She's a doctor. We have to hear that over and over and over again. She's also a mom with 3 kids. I think you need to figure out some type of balance. You decided to have these children. So maybe you should take a moment to get to know them because now they're getting bigger and they need different kind of attention. Anthony, I feel like be home. He be around a lot. So he has time, he plays with them. He talks to them. They have handshakes and things. LaToya, I'm not in on the handshake either. And I like to think of myself as a cool mom, but I don't have the handshake. And to be honest, I don't even want it. So y'all do the handshake. For me, that's very cute watching y'all do it. And figure out your own thing to have, LaToya. Christina Latoya. Here I go. Anyway, um, when she asked her son, like, how's school? How are he's giving her very, very well, I woke up. He's giving rude little ass answers like how his father does. Anthony chimes in, and when he chimes in, it's like he's throwing a shot at Christina. He's like, he's not going to tell you nothing. Like, they're close to me. I know they're friends. I talk to them. They're, tell your mother what we talk about. The kid's like, I'm telling her what we talk about. It's very awkward. Even the handshake part, I feel like Anthony just did that just to, like, push the little knife in a little bit deeper. Like, see, Latoya, we have a whole handshake. Not you, because you're not the cool parent. I am. The way they go back and forth in front of their boys and their daughter, she's a little bit younger. I think those younger kids be coloring and pretending like that they're not paying attention, but they're fully aware of what's going on. So she's watching this interaction too, and how they're competing with each other. Apparently, Dr. Latoya has a perfectionism problem. At this point, I think they did finally tell the kids to go do something, because this conversation is getting a little weird, and it started to turn into a ping pong or tennis, back and forth. But she says she's a perfectionist with everyone. And I thought we were talking about the kids, but at some point, Anthony decided to just switch it. Let's focus on me. You're critical of me a lot. And I feel like God does a great job on me. I'm damn near perfect, if you want to know the truth. This is Anthony speaking on behalf of himself. Anthony is the fun parent, and Latoya is the hard, strict, critical parent. Hey, El Cid. I'm over here starting the whole chat on mute. I feel like, there was a whole lot of very good content that nobody heard, but that's okay, because we're over here now talking about Anthony and Latoya and how she's all stiff and hard and critical, and he's all fun and, no secret handshakes and things. And, I think there's definitely a balance needed. Somebody has to be the stricter. Clearly, Dr. Latoya is, holding the purse strings, and then according to the way things work out at everybody's household, whoever has the most money is the person that's in charge. So Anthony is giving you be at home playing Nintendo or PlayStation or whatever. Do they still have Nintendo? I don't know, child. PlayStation, I know they have. And, based on these people's finances, they probably have the newest, latest PlayStation, and the kids be in the room like playing on their PlayStation, and Anthony is probably right there, which is not a bad thing. Now, can you hear these conversations that be going on between these children? And that's when you can interject. So I'm not mad at Anthony for that. I just hate that he kind of makes his wife feel like her not being there, and she's already feeling guilty about it, and you're not here. You don't know them. It shouldn't be a dig. Y'all should be being on the same page and at least talk some positivity. He had the nerve to say, when you take Ava to find dresses and things and, do her hair, y'all are bonding. Okay, Anthony. They need some balance. So low-key, I feel like Anthony be setting her up so he can remain the favorite. Oh, Pierre. Should I Pierre or should I nanny? Was that good? Did I do a good job? That was my first time trying that accent. I'm not really an accent girl, so yeah. Dr. Latoya could just take table. Wait, what'd you say? I can't see. Sorry, this is Elsa. Dr. Latoya could just take the table to the kids' aquarium. Yes, I think she should just hang out with them. She should just hang out with them. Nobody's kids is being questioned and having. I remember asking my daughter. I would pick her up from school, and she would say, "I'd say, how's your day?" And she would say, "Good." Fast forward to her graduating for high school. Now she's telling me all the miserable things that happened. And I'm like, why didn't you say something? You said good every day. So yeah, you got to spend time with your kids and just, watch them be who they are, watch them develop into who they are, and let them get to see you, like not with your doctor's hat on and with your stiff little hat on, and be fun. Being fun is not taking them to the bowling and then going, see, now I'm better than daddy, right? But anyway, we over here with the Pierre. Colby, she hates being pregnant, and yeah, so nothing has changed about that. She's in her 7th month. She hasn't done anything. She hasn't bought anything. She's not at all excited. She just wants to sit around and be like, meh. I want Colby to perk up. Seriously. Colby and Latoya and Kimberly, they meet up for a little coffee. Colby has not been pregnant for a year. That child is probably close to a year old, the baby girl. She's a big, I think she came before my baby did over here. So she's working on a year. But they got her over here. She's still 7 months pregnant and hating every second of it. Now, her and Russell have decided to get an au pair. And I think these types of needs are based on the household, and it seems like the right thing for her, I feel like. Kimberly says she preferred a nanny, and Pierre is going to stay in your house. It like I said, it's whatever your lifestyle is. Colby is an influencer, and I would say when you're a content creator and an influencer and you got to work out of your home and she's preparing outfits and things and what's going to go on photo shoots, and even though you're from home, you still need someone to help you out. Plus, does she like being pregnant? No. Does she like cleaning house? I don't know. No. So you have a housekeeper and somebody who is going to care for your children at the same time. And basically they live in your house. That's where the conflict comes in with most people, at least people of color. But we'll get to that. For right now, I think I can see that working for Colby, just based on how she feels about everything, how she feels about being pregnant. Colby needs something. A vitamin? I don't know. Some energy. She's such a cute girl. And I feel like before she got pregnant, her attitude was a lot better. And Pierre will be influencing your kids too. They will, but I feel like so does the babysitter, so does the teacher, or whoever is spending your time with your kids during the daycare. Your kids go to daycare and come back home and say words that you did not say in the household. And you're like, hold on. Where did you get that from? So I just don't trust people y'all be like trying to get Social Security cards and things, and then I got a house somewhere that I didn't know I had. But like I said, it's one of those things that's what's right for you. She can literally go on her photo shoots and include her children, not include her children, but have somebody there to look after her children while she's working. And it fits Colby's personality. Kimberly is the one that called them over there, but since she was late, they had to have a conversation about motherhood. That's what Latoya and Colby are always talking about. Kimberly comes in and she has to fill the ladies in on this conversation that happened between her and Christina. And the storyteller is always, remixing the story in a way that they come out looking like, the good guy. Colby is not a fun parent. I don't think so either. And I'm like, I don't know. I guess Colby is definitely influenced by her expectations of what she thought her fairy tale was supposed to be. Y'all's fairy tales is making y'all miserable. So she has this handsome husband that, takes care of everything, but really don't care nothing about what she has going on over there. So sorry about that. My dog is nuts because my groceries are getting delivered. So disregard all the barking. What was I saying about Colby? She's not fun. It'll come back to me. That's what I get for getting distracted. Anyway, Christina is telling them about what happened with this meeting that she had with Kimberly. Kimberly and Christina. I'm sorry, I'm gonna get the names wrong, but you know who I mean. Kimberly and Christina had this meeting where they were over there. Really, it was this lady Kimberly who was supposed to be so, hoity-toity, but she was over at that diner or whatever, throwing clothes on the floor. And the way she told the ladies is like, I got a little Detroit. I mean, I guess don't claim that Detroit. The way she's bringing it up, you got ignorant over there. You were feisty at Bravo's event. Then you came over to this restaurant getting feisty. I honestly can't remember what her and Christina's beef was, but I feel like Kimberly was definitely coming. Oh, because she's mediocre. Kimberly is mediocre and she's in her feelings about it over here, acting a fool, but not with these ladies. It's like Kimberly came over here and she's in this friend group with Latoya and Fun Colby, and she's acting like, finally I've pushed her out of the way, but I don't think you've pushed her out of the way. I don't think there should be any competition between the two of you, but how many of us have them? Let's be friends. This friend group is different. What else, child? So after Kimberly gives her brief, I don't know, recap of what happened over there with Christina and the get together, Latoya moves the conversation on to Anthony and this appreciation or this dinner that he's supposed to be throwing for everybody. I don't know what it's for. Appreciation, friends for getting together. Let me see if I can watch Bravo, get stirred up like he did over at the other place. Like, Anthony is good for setting up some mess. So I'm pretty sure that's what this dinner is all about. Somebody do something. Brandon and Christina and Bravo and Lakita meet up. Now the groups are divided. Who divided the friend group? Is it the puppet master? I'm trying to see like how this works out. Russell is neutral. So Russell is going to go with whatever. But right now, I think that also depends on who Colby gets along with. I would hate for Colby to be too caught up in this friend group with Christina and Latoya because it doesn't bring out the best in her. It's, dragging her down this road of negative Nancy, and it's unattractive. It's aging of a person, get all dragged out and beat up and wore out. And from what the people said, you brought a hot French nanny to come live in your house. So be careful, Colby, about being stank all the time. I'll get on Russell when I get to him, but I'm just talking about Colby and her demeanor. It seems like Colby, young, wild, and free, separate from her marriage, should have a lot to be happy about. Like, you get this great job as an influencer that you clearly like. You have these two beautiful daughters. I'm not sure, I'm going to give Colby a break because I'm not really that educated necessarily on postpartum. I just know that maybe that could be part of why, because she's got a young child. Now she's back in it again. So maybe that has something to do with the energy that Colby is giving. So hopefully then that gets addressed, because she has so much like going for her to be, going down this road of, and Dr. Latoya is a mess just like her husband. So I'd be careful about being friends with her. And this Kimberly lady is a hater. Anyway, Bravo is upgrading one of his clubs. I don't remember the name of it, but the last club that I looked up that Bravo has, his establishment is really nice. So based on what he was saying about this one, he said it was going to be poetry and live music and jazz. So it's giving very much grown and sexy, and based on what I've seen before, probably will be something nice. I don't know where the location of it is because I don't know nothing about where things go in Detroit. I know Brandon's studio is over there by a BP gas station or something, but it's a studio, so it's not like a restaurant or I don't know. I don't think it's necessary a club either. It definitely sounds like Bravo and Lakita and their friend group are of a particular age. Elsid says she's tired of Bravo. Elsid, give Bravo a chance. You just hang on and give him a chance based on his friend group. Anyway, Christina's still focused on her singing, allegedly. I feel like she need to be focused on her singing if that's what she's going to do. She's going to Brandon's boot camp. I think she should go to Brandon's boot camp. She definitely needs to, because what she was given over there with her girl Chelsea was not her most. Maybe she needs an au pair or nanny or something so she can focus on what she's trying to do. Christina had all these things going on. She's a fashion designer. When we met her, she's a fashion designer. And when I looked at those kids, first of all, if you're a fashion designer for kids' clothes and you have two little girls that look like that, and you got Colby over here with little Kendall, y'all better get it right before this time is up and people are no longer having their eyes on you the way they do now, because you did barely. I'm here because I'm, because I'm a Flintstone, but everybody is not here with y'all. Let's see. Bravo is a club owner. They probably went to his spot so he could have stayed. I like Bravo. Elsid, relax. We want Bravo to stay. I like Keita too. Who's your favorite? Anthony? That's who you like. You like Anthony because he's messy. He could stay too. Yeah, Christina definitely needs to go to the boot camp, because if you're going to be serious, then do the thing. She said Brandon is over there coaching these people, and you live in his house. I'm with Brandon. If you want coaching, then you should get it at home. And if you want real coaching, you should leave the house and go, get some coaching. If you're going to be serious, don't wait on Brandon. You already said he wasn't a good leader. So, lead yourself over to the, rehearsal studio or whatever. Christina. First season, Anthony couldn't get enough of Bravo. This season, Anthony, the hater, is salty. And I think he's salty because Bravo didn't dump Brandon and, get all team Anthony. Anthony said, well, let me back up a little bit. Bravo is in his feelings because he was not invited to the Million Man March movement. I would be in my feelings too, especially since first season you were like, Anthony was all Bravo, Bravo, Bravo. We're going to do this at this club and showcase. And my man Bravo at his, spot. Did Anthony only use Bravo to get to, use that spot, which he was able to provide, by the way. And then the whole back, how they had it in the back of the spot where, it was an event. It was an event, like for a showcase, I thought. Decent event, people had a good time, but now you're upset with Bravo because he's still friends with Brandon, and I think also because he has successful businesses, and Anthony's a hater, so I don't think he ever really wants to see his friends do well. He wants to always be having a chance to jab at them. And what's his name? Brandon said Anthony is not an emailer. He's a pick up the phone and lie to you kind of guy. Yeah, because Christina was like, he didn't invite y'all. Did you get an invitation in your email? No, he didn't. He did that on purpose. Not Suge Knight. Elsid, you are very spicy this Saturday afternoon. He wasn't even in the videos. He was just there to provide, a venue for this lovely showcase that your friend Anthony booted everybody out so he could be. Where's his friend that came over there, brought Christina's old boyfriend, crush, whatever, over to the thing? You got me off track, girl. Anthony does the same techniques with Bravo as he did with his kids. Like he gets you in, and now he's doing it again with Marcel. He gets you together and introduces you to these people as your friends, and he goes behind your back and starts talking smack about you. Bravo not feeling Kim and Marcel. I don't know that we are either. I'm okay with Marcel for now, but Kimberly, it works my nerves. She about to make him not have no friends. According to Bravo, because not Lakita, Marcel and what's his wife? Kimberly. Marcel and Kimberly came over to the little, anniversary party that Bravo likes to call his house. It was at his venue, and Kimberly was snapping and acting too much towards Christina. So Bravo is like, you don't come in my house acting all, out of sorts. That's not what you do. According to Bravo, if Lakita went somewhere and was acting like that, he would have just snatched her out of there and they would have to leave. Is Marcel supposed to be responsible for Kimberly's big mouth? Because I feel like she got a big mouth everywhere she goes. I don't know that that's his responsibility. I feel like Bravo, the way Bravo sees it, I guess he feels like Marcel sort of took control of the situation because all of these men over here live inside this whole, toxic masculine universe that they would like to call the Man Movement March, the Million Man Movement March, where if you don't get invited to, then you're somewhere with an attitude. Bravo. Feel like he should be over it though at some point, but we're over it because it was last year. He's not over it because it was the other day. So I'm trying to put myself in his shoes a little bit because unlike Elle said, I like Bravo. At Anthony's dinner, Bravo plans to confront this man and ask him about his wife's behavior. Get it off your chest, Bravo. Get it off your chest, and then we can move past it. I feel like Marcel is supposed to stand by his wife, not snatch her out the place, but we can discuss it when we go. You can't go everywhere, acting a fool, throwing things around, screaming at people and stuff with your big fur coats and things. Kimberly, that's a conversation to be had away from, the people, not in front of the people. Bravo. Don't snatch Lakita. Lakita and Kimberly are not the same. I feel like Kimberly will definitely. You see Marcel snatching her somewhere? I don't. I don't like that word. I don't like the way that was worded. Bravo. So Latoya brings the bowling alley to her house, which I thought was very cool. This is how you spend the time with the boys. But for her, she feels like spending her money, it should earn her some type of gratitude. It was irritate me. I'm like, girl, who cares about Anthony? That's what this is not what this is about. Who's the favorite? If they have a great relationship with their dad, that's something you should be grateful for, not in competition with. You're supposed to have the bowling alley come over here because you want to get to see these boys in a comfortable setting where they're just chatting and talking to you and not, being under a spotlight with you asking questions about the 7th grade. 7th grade, what do you think he's going to say? I hate math. My teacher's mean. I don't get enough time on recess. Like, I don't know. I'm sure, I don't know. It's, 7th grade things. Is there a girl? If there is a girl, he's not about to tell you. So don't ask him that. You done found out, more than you wanted to find out. She's very much stuck on the who's your favorite type thing. It's just, to me, it's annoying. I did like the activity though. I thought, for a birthday party or something, it was a little cramped, but just for, something, I don't even have to be a party, just for what she wanted to do. You know what? I'm busy. I got to be doing this by 3 o'clock. I'm going to have the bowling alley come over to the house, and for 2 hours, me and the boys will like have some fun. Latoya. Anyway, thanks for the idea about bowling. Have y'all ever done that? Got your kids one of those party van things? I like that idea. It can't be more money than taking them all somewhere, dragging them to go order some pizzas in the bowling alley. Then you can have a few friends over, burn up some energy, and then everybody go home after they eat pizza. Cool. I didn't have these things when I was a kid. I'm into it now. Maybe my grandson will get it. I'll make sure he gets a bowling alley van or something. So Anthony's big dinner. All of the couples show up. Anthony's like rubbing his palms together because he's waiting to see which one of these couples is going to set things off. That's why he's here. He's not even trying to hide it. Bravo's sitting in the confessional with his wife saying he don't have no animosity towards Anthony. So when he walked in, Bravo and his wife, they went around the room saying hi. You know how it is when, people are coming around, you say your hellos or whatever. Anthony is all in his feelings. Brittany Edie Anthony is whining because Bravo didn't come over there and give him a hug. Okay. What is the problem? We got beef. You ain't gonna hug your boy. You're not his boy. You did not invite him to the $1 Million Man March movement. And Bravo, although he says, I don't have any animosity towards Anthony, I feel like you kind of do. You do. You have a little animosity towards the man because you are Bravo and you do not get invited to things. That's not what we do. You got the video game one. How was it? Was it worth it or what? Because I guess, video games is different. The bowling alley, it looked a little cramped, but it still seemed fun for what she had planned. I don't know. I feel like Bravo still does have animosity towards Anthony, and I feel like Lakita peeped it. She's like, you don't? You do. You've been talking about it. And I would honestly feel better if you just said, you know what? That was kind of messed up what you did. You didn't even tell me about it. Like, that's when you ask, like, do we have beef or something? I don't have to be speaking or doing anything, to showcase my business, God forbid. It wasn't... Bravo, it was not a million man movement. It was just a few people million movement. So you didn't really miss out on anything, but I could see why he, feels a way about it. I would just say that. Christina and Brandon, I don't know, is it like in their contract that they have to arrive at everything last? They get there. Now, Christina comes over and gives Kimberly a hug. So Kimberly, next time you talk about how I'm here at this table and I'm here to stay, the lady came over here and gave you a hug, the one you wanted, the fake ass hug, so you can't say she was acting funny. Brandon and Bravo are wearing the same t-shirt. I think that's funny, and I think Anthony is definitely jealous that he didn't get the sweatshirt memo. I mean, it was like a sweater, nice sweater, whatever. I'm going to go ahead and guess that there's a label attached to that sweater at whatever men's store they all shop at. And that's why they ended up with the same sweater on. It was a nice sweater, I guess. Bravo sits down at the table and, he getting it popping straight out the gate. He jumped straight to the dough binds. Last time I seen y'all was screaming at my house. I'm glad he got it out the way. Actually, I'm glad he said something because it is bothering him and I don't want to hear about it anymore. Marcel said, I wasn't arguing with anybody over at your house. That was Christina and my wife. And he's pretty much like, if you had an issue with it, you should have said something in the moment. And Bravo's like, I did say something, but y'all kept arguing. I can understand both sides, to be honest. I can see why Bravo is like, I don't know these people. This is supposed to be my celebration. They came over here acting a fool, screaming and doing a little bit too much. My first impression is I don't really, want to fool with them like that. Say something to you. I don't know you. Like, you the one that came over here and acted a fool. So at some point, maybe I feel like Bravo thinks, because they be on this, don't speak to my wife type stuff. Bravo thinks that Marcel at some point should have been like, hey, I apologize, for whatever. He didn't do that then, he did it now. Kimberly's like, I said sorry, Bravo. My goodness. Yeah, you ain't sorry. You in the confessional still not sorry. So, you think it's a reach, and I think you probably make this impression everywhere you go. It's just that this time Marcel caught, a stray because of your big mouth. I can also see where some people are like that. Say it in the moment and we can get past it. It's not that serious. Like I said, they good now. Except for Anthony trying to make them not good. Because that's what Anthony does. Anthony brings up Colby and Russell's French nanny. Now Russell about to catch one. Every time Anthony says something, it feels like a shot. Why is it that every time Anthony brings something up, like, was that a shot at Russell? I heard she bad too. What does that even mean? I mean, I guess I know what it means. This is the thing. Bravo wants to know, is this something that Black people do? Sometimes I feel like if you're in a particular income bracket, you have homes that need that have a lot of room, and you can have somebody come through there. I think it's natural in our community to be like, I'm not having some stranger in my house. I'm not having a woman around my husband. That's valid. I don't think it's a smart thing to bring a baddie in the house that's gonna live there when you were in a sourpuss face and all of the other things I said. But hey, Russell is a perfect man. Nothing to worry about. I feel like, me personally, if your husband is that type of dude, then yeah, don't bring a nanny in the house. But for me personally, I feel more uncomfortable with leaving my personal things, you know, and I'm not at home. But Kobe is at home. That's why I think it works for her. She's not like leaving the house to go somewhere to work. She's in the house working. So this person won't really be in her house necessarily any different than a babysitter would by herself. Um, Potty training. So Kendall is being potty trained, and it's easy for some kids, easier than others, I guess. Kendall is mad at mommy because mommy is enforcing potty training. It looks to me like Russell is over there doing to Colby the same thing that Anthony is doing to LaToya. Russell likes this role as being the favorite. He doesn't want to discipline. I don't do that. I can't go there. And he's not supporting Colby with things that involve motherhood and being around the house. He's very much into that gender roles, and he's stuck in it, very deep in it. If she's doing potty training, his response should be like, I'm just busy, I don't care about that. You're supposed to back her up so it can get done. When little Kendall said, I'm mad at mommy, that was his time to correct her. You know what I'm saying? Mommy and daddy are supposed to be a team. Kendall is going to definitely, and maybe this other one too, that she's definitely going to be pitting them up against each other. She's already doing it. I want daddy to do it. You ain't hurt my feelings, so you want daddy to do it. Yep, daddy, you do it. You go clean the poopy diaper because you were the one that didn't help me, make sure it gets done. If she loves you so much and you're her big favorite, then you should be, coming from you. It'll be different. Come on, Kendall, let's go potty. Then she'll go. I can understand her frustration with that one. Don't say you don't care. Russell acts like everything that he's doing. I put my wife in this position so she could retire. She's 20. Okay, she's not 20, but she's young. So, and if she retired, I don't see it as retirement. So, yeah, like I said, Russell is not Prince Charming. He said he don't even care. That sucks. That's pretty much where that episode ended. We, like I said, been away for a minute, so they got us a little opportunity to catch up. Next week, it looks like the moms, Latoya and Kobe, are having a breakdown about how not supportive their husbands are, or how much weight they carry. Latoya's kids are not little. So I don't think it's the same thing. I feel like everything's potty trained over there. Everyone's potty trained at this point. It's just for her a matter of making time to attend some of the events, sporting events that your kids are involved in. And to be honest, you can schedule those things. I don't know what kind of doctor you are, but it's definitely not the same thing as potty training and all of that stuff. And I get it. Like I said, she's pregnant. She's got a toddler. When I had a toddler, I never ever understood how women would go, back to back like that, especially when they're young. I had a toddler. It took me 12 years to do it again. Yeah, so I can understand Kobe's frustration, especially with Russell's attitude being the way it is. Anthony is over here trying to influence Marcel's opinion about Bravo. I feel like Marcel, just like everybody else, will realize that Anthony really ain't shit. So if he does right now, he doesn't have a friendship with these guys. If Anthony is smart, he will take an opportunity to get to know all of them. Otherwise, he's going to be stuck over there with Anthony unless he's messy like that. I mean, based on the way his wife behaves, he likes being around the mess. So he probably likes it. Christina is going over to be on Anthony's podcast. Bravo didn't even know he had a podcast. Bravo, that's because nobody knows about his podcast. We ain't seen it, so you ain't missing out on nothing again. Chelsea is over here acting up. And Chelsea, if you're going to come over to this man's place, whatever the relationship is between you and Anthony, if you don't keep your mouth shut and be respectful, then you should be asked to leave. Now, I don't know how everything, played out, but we'll find out next week. But from what I can see, Chelsea was over there being disrespectful. I'm going to be watching tonight. Like I said, I was here. I'm off this Saturday, so I decided to go ahead and do this one live. The next one will probably, I don't know if it'll be live or not, but it'll be on Tuesday. Everything is switching around, these reunions and things. Tomorrow's Easter. Happy Easter, everyone. I hope you have a lovely day with family and such. That's what I'll plan to be doing on Easter. And I'll probably do what is tomorrow? Sunday. I'll probably do the Never Ever Mets, and I'll do my best to wrap up the reunions of Married to Medicine and Beverly Hills. I know I'm so late, but I hate to leave it hanging with just 2 parts of the reunion. I know a whole lot to add, but yeah, that's about it, y'all. So like the video, subscribe to my channel, and I'll see you when I see you. Bye, Sid, if you're still here.